Of course, we are your Sunday companion. This is the Sunday show on NT Channel 5, the Unity Station. Happy Sunday. Welcome aboard. On the Sunday show, we talk about everything and anything. On a lighter note, though, we learn, we vibe, we enjoy songs, and so much more. My name is Loma Ibe, welcoming you on board. Today, I have a guest that'll be talking to us on something very interesting. So, if you're a youth, or an adult, everyone is involved. Just hang around, grab a seat and a cup of water or juice, whatever works for you, because this is Sunday and we are going to have a lot of fun together on the show. Not forgetting that at the flip side of the show, the phone lines will be open for you to join the conversation. Welcome on board. Let's take this musical break. When we return, we'll head into this conversation. Please stick around.
This joy that I have, the world can never take it from me. No, no, no. Yeah. This peace you have given me, the world can never take it from me. No, no, no. Oh, ayọ̀ tí wọ́n lé ní òkè, ire tí wọ́n lé ní òkè. Ayọ̀ tí wọ́n lé ní òkè, ire tí wọ́n lé ní òkè. Daily as I live, it's your blessing I see. Your goodness and mercy always follow me. This love you have given me, it's sweet past this melody. Love me by mouth, yes you are good. Your joy they make me they sing like oh. Ayọ̀ tí wọ́n lé ní òkè, ire tí wọ́n lé ní òkè. Ayọ̀ tí wọ́n lé ní òkè.
Beautiful song by Rotimi K's Ayo. Ayo means joy, happiness. Of course, we are here to give you Ayo on the Sunday show. If you just joined, welcome aboard. This afternoon, we want to have conversation concerning how the youth can get involved in the leadership of Nigeria. You know, we sang this song, We Are the Leaders of Tomorrow. I mean, we sang it in primary and secondary school. Have we actually had the opportunity to lead? To have this conversation with us is Mr. Jeremiah Agala. He is joining us to talk about how the youth can get involved in the leadership of Nigeria, bringing all their energy, their whole Gen Z vibe. They say they are the blueprint and so much more. Mr. Jeremiah, welcome on board. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Very well.
And you're also a youth.
Yes, I am.
Is it at heart or?
I think moral.
Okay, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about how the youth can get involved. What are the hurdles? What are the challenges? What are the blockages that you feel are holding them back to get involved in the leadership of Nigeria? Because most times we hear them say, oh, the government is not doing enough if given an opportunity. A country of ours that have 60% of the population under 35. I mean, we are youth. How can we get involved in the leadership?
Thank you for having me on the Sunday show, and it's a privilege to be here. A lot had been said around this, and I can see clearly that the sensitization and the awareness of youth's involvement in leadership is on the rise. I can tell you for free that young people out there are interested in leadership and who governs them per time. Whilst today isn't about shifting blames, for me, I would want to focus energy on how we can navigate the system into getting involved in ensuring that we're part of the system.
Okay.
Over the years, I've been an advocate for a mind shift for young people.
Right.
We've had youth leaders in the past, even in the last two administrations, we've had young people in governance and government. My question had always been, what have they brought to the table, even given an opportunity to be part of the system
young people.
as young people? Yeah, we have the energy, we have the technical know-how, we know what to do. Arguably, someone said the elections of Donald Trump was greatly influenced by his son, who was a young person, who actually brought the youth energy, the Gen Z thing
Yes.
to the table for the dad. That goes to tell you the energy, the power of young people. The Elon Musk influence also contributed to the success of that election,
A lot.
purely from the technological aspect. We have the same energy here. We have the same vibe. We have the same intelligence. And so for me, rather than sit idly by and watch the system, because we've given up on the system and do nothing, it's high time young people begin to sit down and think beyond and outside the box. What can we do to be part of the system? Like I said earlier, whilst what is existing today has a lot of young people's inputs, because when you go to the INEC headquarters, you see a lot of young people. They are the one manning the ICT center. They are the one doing a lot of campaigns and all that. In all the political parties, one of the most strongest is the youth wing. You know, they can't do without all of that. So we are still involved in who leads us. But a lot still boils down to how much are we willing to navigate the system to produce the kind of leaders we expect to see. So I can tell you for free that young people are involved, but I think a lot needs to go into speaking up with one voice to be able to decide beyond party lines, beyond religious lines, who we want to see govern us. So the young people are out there, they are interested in the system, and they are involved already. But we need greater awareness to also get much more young people into the system to get it right.
Okay, some persons say that the young people will be, they like, the way they like to be heard is via protest. They like protesting, they like heading to the street because they feel this is how they can express themselves. This is how they can be seen by the government. What do you have to say about that?
Not every young person wants to be on the street. Personally, I don't want to be on the street. You will never find me on the street. I don't believe in confrontation of any kind. I believe in a lot of dialogue. On a lighter note, I was coming out of the National Assembly one day and I saw some young people protesting against something I had no idea about, but I felt it was something of national interest. So I saw a few friends and then I collected their phones to want to video them and capture it live. At some point, I now look back and I noticed some policemen standing behind the gate. One was getting angry. He needs to shoot the tear gas and all that. Immediately I saw it, I called the owner of the phone and said, please collect your phone.
Take your phone.
I'm not part of anything that will put me on the edge. I believe in conversation. Whilst I was living there, there were another group that were preparing to counter what this group were talking about. So we have seen that beyond agendas, beyond ideas, beyond issues, this whole thing is becoming a lot of politicized. It's now becoming like a witch hunt. So for me, I think we should move past the stage of protest. And you wouldn't blame them completely. I think we have the government had pushed young people to a position where they feel that the only point where they can have a conversation is via a protest. And I think we can do much more than getting to that point. We can have a dialogue, have a civil dialogue, reach an agreement, and stick to the agreement. You young people do this. Look at what had gone on with the ASU strike. Look at what had gone on with the doctor strike. let's reach an agreement and stick to it. We must not always get to the point of protest.
All right, let's reach an agreement. That's his words. So, want to hang out there and grab this quick breather. When we come back, we'll open the phone lines. The phone numbers will be on your screen for you to join the conversation. We'll talk more on the Not Too Young to Run bill. How well is it doing since 2018 that it has been on ground? I mean, what's the percentage of the youth that have been involved since that bill came on board? All right, this will come up after this breather. Stay with us.
Attention, attention, if you're not spending money, go, 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 go.
Ẹni tó wọ́n mọ̀ tó ń ṣe dọ́gì, misplaced priority, can be pro, can be lazy. Àṣẹ tó bá dé kó wà ọgbọ̀n on the IC. My money be like coco money. See na everything I owó pé owó pé. Bitch better have my money. Owó lé owó máa dé. Bitch better have my money. Owó pé owó pé. Bitch better have my money. Ó máa lé owó máa lé. Bitch better have my money. Ó dá ó pa, yeah I don't touch money, I like am. Dollar signs, low down, kilo kan boys, owó ló kan boys. Broker, touchdown no instrumental. We no minus, we dey add up. Olórí rẹ̀ hands up. On the IC, my money be like coco money. See na everything I do. Owó pé owó pé. Bitch better have my money. Owó lé owó máa dé. Bitch better have my money.
Yeah, truly, the sun made it. All that hard work is paid off.
If you just joined us, it's the Sunday show. You're still watching the Sunday show on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. My name is Loma Ibe, and I have my guest, Mr. Jeremiah Agala, right here. And we're talking about how the youth can get involved in the leadership of Nigeria. Yes, let's talk about the Not Too Young to Run bill. It came on board since 2018. How is it faring? What success would you attribute to that Not Too Young to Run bill?
Okay, my assessment is I remembered when that Not Too Young to Run bill came on. I was part of those who advocated for a mentorship structure for takeover.
Okay.
Because when the bill came on, everybody signed up to want to be president. And after that one-time attempt, most of the people who were frontliners, I think apart from the Sowore and Co.
Sure.
Yes, the rest are nowhere to be found anywhere around politics. Because we have a system that is built to sustain the current kind of leadership and succession plans which we have. I'll give you an instance. There is no political party today whose nomination form is less than 10 million naira. No one. For some, it's as much as 100 and even 150
You can
million.
afford that.
How many young people seated here? I cannot. So do use me as a benchmark. How many young people with decent jobs, decent means of livelihood can afford to buy just nomination ticket for 100 million and still run an election?
That's not part of the campaign.
That's
And
run,
consultations.
run an election process. So that goes to tell you that that bill was only signed on paper, but we didn't have the structure to actually take on the after effect of signing that bill. So I wouldn't tell you that that is doing so well. We need to still go back. And this is my advocacy to young people. I've always said, find a way to get into the system via a mentorship session or a mentorship structure. With that, you understand how the system runs, and it will give you an idea on how to take over. But from outside the system where this thing is looking like a clique, and if you're not within that circle, you have no idea. I tell you for free, most politicians who are retiring are bringing their children into the system. Look at the El-Rufais, look at the Minister for Works, look at the Wikis. Their children are coming into the system. It will be difficult for somebody who is not within that system to get into the system. So a mentorship structure where you are learning the ropes, it may not be implemented. You may not become the president or the minister or the governor in the next 2-3 election cycles, but you would have had an understanding of how it works. And then you are properly positioned and prepared to take over systems. But for now, I don't think that bill is working. And we need much more.
Let's talk about some of the Gen Zs. Not everyone wants to be into politics. Some of them don't even like politics. They just want things to work in the country. They want a situation where electricity is there, there's proper health system, there's access road and all of that. So not everyone can be the president of Nigeria. So what other means do you think the young people can channel their energy apart from into politics?
Leadership is not only about political office. Leadership is not only about holding any position of leadership per se. There's technological leadership. There are leadership in different spheres. Young people are interested in diversifying. But do we have a system that would permit for these things to run? I personally I'm not interested in running for any political office. I'm doing certain things outside the political system. A lot of young people are interested in wanting to be business leaders. Do we have an environment for businesses to thrive? We have several issues going on where certain contracts are revoked. As we speak today, in Abuja alone, lands are crazy. You can't even use a land to get a loan from the bank. Because today it is your land, tomorrow it is revoked. We have a lot of things that needs to be in place, system-wise, for us to be able to say young people pick other aspects beyond political leadership. It's made today not to be very attractive. If leadership returns to the place of service, you will see more young people getting involved. Check out the humanitarian aspect. Don't you have young people who are in that space? Not for what they can get, but for how much of impact they can give to humanity. So if leadership today becomes about the people, young people will get involved in it. It becomes an attraction. But as it stands today, any decent young man wants to stay away from it. Yes, I hear people say, if all the decent people stay away from politics, what happens to it? But the truth is that the system is not built for decent people to get involved in it. Because no decent, somebody doing decent work, have what it takes to run an election.
Wow. Okay, so it's getting interesting, but let's quickly inform you that our phone lines are on your screen for you to join this conversation. Do you think the young people, they are too young to lead? Some people say when you give them opportunity, they will mislead those opportunities. They need to sit back and watch, be mentored, be nurtured, unlearn the things they think they know before they dive into politics.
So, yes, we have a rot that had lingered for a long time. And until the system is cleansed, you will keep having this recycled kind of corruption. I tell people, I said, those who are waiting to steal from government are much more than the people who are stealing in government today. You have a lot of young who can devise any means to steal, and it will be difficult for you to trace as it stands today. But these are things that had been long in the system, is been there over the decades. And so you can't just wake up overnight and wish it away. So there need to be a restart, a re-engineering of young people. If you get any young person get into government today and misbehaves, the system gave him the leeway to misbehave.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Look at the banditry. We've been talking about executing bandits. We've dragged it for too long, and at some point, certain people repent, and then they are being absorbed, and some people are hurting. That is already a breeding ground for criminality. There are certain countries in the world that you cannot get into corruption and go away with it. The countries like China, you see drugs, you see corruption, you are executed on the spot. No long to range it. But we have a system that if you've stolen more money, you have capacity to work your way around it.
Well, we still have some of this.
We have laws, but once it is delayed, it seems to be denied.
Once it's delayed, not like the law is not working.
No,
and the
we
judiciary is not
have
doing their job.
more than enough laws that can make our society sane. But how much of implementation do we have?
So we have a problem with
Implementation.
implementation.
Yes, we have laws, good laws. Recently, the governor of Edo State came up and said he's going to execute anyone that is caught as a bandit. There's been claims and counterclaims. We need to be careful. We need to be sure the case is. So that alone is telling you that, okay, you need to slow down, catch break. Before you go through all of these things and then get to the point where you begin to implement, to be able to send a message to those who are involved in it, it takes a long time. And it might not be maybe within the lifetime of his administration. So somebody comes in again and becomes more lenient. So it feels like we are lenient with corruption. We are lenient with some of these vices. And so we see a replication of these things over the years. It feels like if you have much more money, you can evade justice. That's what it feels like. But when we get to a point where with your money, with your connection, with where you are coming from, if you are on the wrong side of the law, you face what the consequences. People will learn. And we will begin to sanitize the system, and we'll have a system that works for everyone. So until we get to that point, a lot still needs to be done.
As we wrap up this conversation, what, do you think the government would have allowed the youth, like the nomination form, allow them to get it free of charge, for them to be more involved, and especially the Gen Zs that has a lot of energy?
Personally, for me, it's not necessary. You can get the form and not be able to run the election. So of what use is it? You give me free nomination form now. I need 100 million to do a campaign. Where do I get it from? Our system is still too monetized. Our election process is highly monetized. You wouldn't blame the people who spend the money. They've weaponized hunger. They've weaponized starvation, lack, unemployment. So when it comes to election season, you get handouts and certain little things to you. Let me get what I can get now, because in the next 4 years I may not see these people again.
But this thinking, it needs to change. How do we change our mindset? Like in form of parting short, our time is up. How do you think the youth everyone can change their mindset towards what goes on in Nigeria and become a better leader in their corners?
Programs such as yours, sensitization, dialogue, seminars. That's why some of us are still in the spaces, still telling people to believe in the system. Last year, I had a dialogue for young people, and I had a serving lawmaker who walked up to me and said, if I had the kind of money investing in this kind of project when I was younger, I would have left this country a long time ago. A serving lawmaker is advising me to give up the country,
to Japa,
and go. So even the people who serve us do not serve in our best interests.
Some of them.
You can tell from their actions and inactions that they are not serving in the best interest of this country. So for some of us, we still have hope, we still have belief. And my parting shot to young people, believe in the nation. Every great nation is built by young people, is built by its people. South Africa has pursued us. Other countries are pursuing us. The truth is, we will still return back to this same country we are gradually destroying. And until we get a country working, we have nowhere to call home. So we've got to put our energy, time, resources in making it work. It will take time, but we'll get it done.
It will take time, but we'll get it done. That is his words. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeremiah. Thank you for coming on the show. We should have more time to talk more on this particular issue, because it's a huge thing, and of course we can't exhaust everything today. We definitely talk more. We'll keep having this conversation to make sure we have the country we desire.
I agree with you.
Thank you so much. And on that note, is a wrap on the Sunday show. Catch up with us next Sunday, 1:30 to 2 p.m. My name is Uloma Ibe. Have a super Sunday. Good afternoon.
We interrupt this program to bring you Johnny Drill and Don Jazzy.